I'm Miranda, and this is Nick.
Oi.
Welcome to episode 16 of the Ranting podcast. And this is our Rants on the Rocks episode. In these episodes, we review different types of media, whether it's books, movies, documentaries, TV, whatever we feel like talking about. This week, we watched Trainwreck, The Real Project X. I'm just going to say it again. This week, we watched Trainwreck, The Real Project X, the documentary on Netflix, and it was directed by Alex Wood. So, do you have anything to say before we jump into it?
No, we can jump right in. The only thing I want to add is that we watched the documentary and the movie.
Oh, yeah. Yep, that's right. We watched the Project X movie last night.
Yep.
And then I had already started the documentary, but then you watched the documentary today.
Yeah, I just watched it.
Just finished it.
I just watched it, yeah.
Like 10 minutes ago.
Yeah. But no, I don't have anything to add yet. Just that. Just that part, yeah.
So, diving right in. This one, I know that they talk about Project X a lot, and that movie was based here in the States, but this documentary is actually based in the Netherlands.
Yep.
In Haren, to be more specific.
The same year, though.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think we'll circle back to that because I think I say that in here.
Okay.
So starting out, we're introduced to the location, which, like we said, is in Haren, the Netherlands. And there is a man in a burgundy turtleneck. And he says that the community, it's very green and very peaceful. There's no tourists. And normally nothing ever really happens except for that one particular day.
Yep.
Yep. So, cut to a sped up video montage of some footage from the party, ending on a video of a guy in the car yelling, "Harden!" And then it cuts to the road sign that shows that they're approaching their exit to the community.
Asphalt.
I know I was like, please doesn't say that on the side.
I didn't even catch that.
No, it doesn't.
Okay.
I think because maybe it was in the Netherlands. I wonder if that's just German.
Yeah, probably.
But I immediately thought
I don't think anybody would understand
so funny.
that anyways.
Yeah,
you,
so in Germany, the exit is Asphalt.
Asphalt.
Yeah, so
Doesn't even say.
That's the inside joke.
Doesn't even say what the exit's for, where it's going.
Yeah.
And literally every exit just says
asphalt.
That's it.
And
asphalt to fucking where?
Yeah. And it's like, oh, you're coming around the curve. Asphalt.
Asphalt, yep. Anyways, off topic.
Anyway.
Different country.
Yep. Entirely. So anyway, these two men that are in the car, they're listening to their music. They're getting hyped up on their way to the biggest birthday party in the Netherlands. This birthday party was for a 16-year-old girl named Mirta. And she had created a Facebook event to invite her friends to her party, but she forgot to mark the event as private, is what it initially says. But the thing is, I think she had said in there that she had, where is it? I think I might it's fine. We'll cut this out. I'll come back to it. So,
okay.
So she had said that she forgot to mark the event as private. And quickly people began RSVPing to the party, and they began speculating whether it would turn into a real Project X party. And that, inspired by the film that, like you said, had just been released earlier that year in March. This is all taking place in September. So it was still pretty fresh for everybody.
Oh, yeah.
Eventually, the head count rose to about 17,000 people. And
she selected 78. She invited directly.
Very specifically people. 78 people. Yeah. Eventually, the head count rose to about to about 17,000 people. And it became a real concern about how it could escalate. And of course, it all started out great. People were having fun, but it quickly took a turn. And that's just the introduction of the documentary.
Like, you were just going
that
to
was
the
just
intro.
the intro.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
I
it's
see.
like
I see. Okay. Yeah.
building it up.
Okay.
So present day, which is actually 2024, not today. Present day.
Yep.
Anyway, Myrta reveals that she actually had left the Netherlands after that whole debacle. She goes on to explain that she doesn't return home often, and she doesn't think that the Dutch have forgotten what happened. She mentions how people often think that the Netherlands is like a party country because everything's legal there, like weed and prostitutes, but it's actually all like really controlled. And then she says the Dutch don't like it when people break their unwritten rules. And she says that she's never been one to conform, but her father would always remind her, quote, when you stick your head above the grass, it also might get cut off.
Yeah. Okay.
I thought that was kind of funny. That's such a dad thing to say.
That's funny. Though.
That cracked me up.
Oh, goodness.
So now they're, setting back in 2012, they're doing the interviews, but they're all talking about leading up to the party at this point. So Myrta explains that when she was turning 16, she told her parents that she wanted to throw a party. 16 is a significant age there in the Netherlands because, at the time particularly, because that was the legal drinking age. So she's like reflecting on how everybody used Facebook back then. And I mean, it was 2012, keep in mind. And that was a huge gauge of people's popularity. So that's why she opted to make like a Facebook event. And she invited those 78 people very specifically. But okay, here's where I think that the description was a bit misleading because Myrta says that she chose to make the event public rather than private.
Yes.
Not that she like accidentally did it. So
she
I mean
100% selected public.
Yeah, I think that was one thing.
But she was 16.
Well, exactly. Well, I said I think maybe it was an accident as far as her not knowing exactly like how public it would be.
Yeah, right.
If maybe, I don't know if maybe she was thinking like, oh, people would still have to like request or something. Yeah. I don't know. Or just so they could see, but.
And to be fair, at least what they showed, their flashback. And Netflix is pretty accurate when they do like their flashbacks and stuff like that.
They did pretty good.
But they did a flashback to what, like her actually making the event.
Yeah, like a reenactment.
Yeah, right. Yeah. But it looked like it was Facebook in 2012.
Right.
And to be fair to her, though, when she did the drop down, when they did the reenactment for the drop down, right? It just said public, private, and then something else. It didn't actually give a description on what that meant. So like it's fair for a 16-year-old.
Exactly. Well, that's why, because she was like, it was a gauge of your popularity. So like you're making this event, you want people to see it, like it's exclusive. Like that's probably what it was supposed to be.
You done fucked up, Aaron.
Yeah. So then we're introduced to two girls that she had previously been volleyball teammates with. I had to look up their names just to make sure I pronounced them right. So it seems like, according to like the traditional pronunciations of stuff in the Netherlands, that their names were Ilu and Fenna. But anyway, those were the two, the two that were previous volleyball teammates with Myrta. And they met her in 2012, actually, when she joined the volleyball team. She was the new girl. She was the new girl on the team, and like they all went to different schools and everything. Ilu and Fenna were from the city center of, I had this. I think it was Groningen. Damn it, I had it memorized, and now I can't remember. I almost want to listen to it real quick.
To it?
Let me do a quick Goog.
Yeah, just do the
Goog
pronunciation on here.
Yeah.
I mean,
how
it's
to pronounce
a different language, so.
I had it. Can you just say it?
You have to do the pronunciation.
I did. Is it Google Pronunciate specifically?
You just the word and then pronunciation.
Translate.
Well, no, translate's not going to do it.
You can hear it though.
Okay.
Oh, I turned off my volume while you were listening to the thing.
Groningen.
Well, that's not right. Where's Dutch?
Dutch.
Groningen.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm going to fuck that up later.
Probably.
All right. So Ilu and Fenna were from the city center of, Groningen.
Okay.
A city significantly larger than Haren. Fenna explained how the people from the city viewed people from Haren as posh or uppity. But eventually they learned that Myrta was not like that she actually was a lot of fun. And so when they got the invitation to her party, they're really excited to go. And they talked about how all of the teens at the time, like they watched all of like the quintessential American party movies and everything. And so they wanted this similar experience. So explains how this whole thing got so much.
Easy A, and something else.
Well, Project X, clearly.
Yeah, Project X, obviously. Yeah.
But yeah, so everybody's like, woo, party. So now we're at 14 days to the party. And it's like 8:30 a.m. It's Myrta's at school on the following day after creating the event. And she was monitoring it on her iPhone. And Lawrence, one of Myrta's classmates, he is doing the interview and he recalls receiving an invitation to her party. And he says like, oh, we went to school together, but we weren't really friends or anything. And he knew that she had lived in a nice house. Like her and her family were considered elite. He likened their house to the Home Alone house. If you're unfamiliar with the Home Alone house, first of all, have you been living under a fucking rock? Because like everybody knows the Home Alone house. Anyway, but the house is huge, and it's a common social media conversation about how the parents in that movie could have possibly afforded that home and like all those kids and a trip to Paris. So like, in other words, long walk for a short drink of water. Right. It's a big fucking house. Yeah. So they were very well to do.
And this is like an uppity
like it was
town,
seen as like an uppity community and just like elite, well to do people.
Yeah, right.
So they were like, hell yeah, big ass party. So then Lawrence reveals that he was a bit of a rebel at the time. And so he thought it would be funny to just invite more people. So he went through his entire contact list and added about 500 more invites to Myrta's party.
You made it public.
Yeah. Well, luckily, another one of their classmates alerted Myrta that Lawrence was essentially crashing her event on Facebook. And so that's when Myrta was like, oh shit, let me really start monitoring this. And unfortunately, that's when she found out that there was like 3,000 people invited to her party. It spread fast.
Just beginning. Not even close to the cap.
I know. And Lawrence reflects on like how people were getting so excited about the party, and then like more people kept inviting more people, and then that's when he started hearing people likening it to the Project X party from the movie. So
that's not good.
Yeah. Well, I was saying, recall the Project X movie had only just come out roughly 6 months earlier. So it's still like fresh in everybody's minds. And like, keep in mind also, we're talking about a bunch of impressionable teenagers whose legal drinking age is 16. So obviously they're like, we're going to recreate this fucking movie.
And when that movie came out, everybody wanted to recreate that. Everybody wanted to be at that party.
Everybody wanted to be like, let's have a fucking big ass house party. And oof.
And if you've seen that movie, you know that it doesn't end well.
It does not end well. It doesn't end well at all. It's impressive.
If you don't live on that
but
block,
it doesn't end
then
well
you're good.
at all.
And you were at the party, then I'm sure it was great. But like, if that's your house,
and the surrounding houses.
oh yeah,
like
the entire
it's
block.
not good.
Yeah.
So so all these kids are like, hell yeah, all right.
Yeah.
But now Lawrence, he even looks back on the movie fondly, calling it, quote, the best party movie ever. So,
I mean, that's fine. I agree.
He's not wrong.
I agree.
So rolling with like the whole Project X vibe, people started posting pictures from the movie to the event page, like with all these gnomes and with all these memes and everything like that.
Yeah.
But specifically, there was pictures of like that gnome that was filled with ecstasy that had gotten hit into the crowd. So I thought that was a funny thing. And so now it's like 1:30 in the afternoon, still same day.
Yep.
And like this is still just same day, growing very quickly. And Mirta thought that it was like a funny joke, so she just took it to Twitter and was like, haha, casual, like 3,500 people coming to my party. This is funny. And like, she thought it was just going to be like, haha, that's hilarious. And like, people are going to move on. No, that just added fuel to the fire, and the numbers grew, and more people were like RSVPing to the event. So eventually she felt like it was getting out of control, and she tried to delete the event, but she wasn't able to do it from her phone at the time. Like at the time she had to do it on the desktop version of Facebook.
School, so
yeah, that too.
Yep.
So now by the time she gets around to it, it's like 5:30 p.m. And this is when she realizes that it's like the event has gotten to an almost uncontrollable point. And so she like informs her parents.
Yeah.
What's been going
Yeah.
on. Can you imagine?
I didn't see it going that way. I really thought that she just wasn't going to say anything. And just going to let it ride. But then when she brought it to her parents, I was like, okay, they're about to try to shut this thing down.
I'm glad that she brought it to her parents and didn't just like, okay, we'll just let it go. It's all right. Like, could you imagine if they got blindsided like by people just showing up?
Honestly, I wonder. It's back to like the butterfly effect thing. I wonder if they didn't cancel the original one. I know we'll get there, but if they didn't cancel the original one, I wonder if it would have stayed at like,
I don't know, maybe
because they just fueled the fucking fire.
Yeah. So anyways, so when she goes to tell her parents, they don't fully like grasp the concept of what's happening. But when she's like, hey, this is for real, like we have to do something about it. They were immediately, and rightfully so, concerned about how everything could possibly play out. So then Mirta's mom called the police in hopes of getting some like guidance or help or anything. But the police didn't really know what to do because they'd never encountered anything like this before. So then everybody just decided it would be best for Mirta to just delete the event and like ignore it. Basically, just if you delete the event, people will let it go, is what they were saying. Introducing Yorick, who was a party attendee. At the time, Yorick was 18 years old and living in the city, and he wanted to be part of the Project X party. And he felt like something like had been taken away from him when they deleted the event. He's like, everybody was having so much fun on the page. Like, why would they delete it? So Yorick opted to recreate the event himself, but he kept the location at Mirta's house. And he literally titled the event Project X Karen, and then tried to frame it as a surprise party for Mirta. You fucking dick. That's so, no, he could have kept the party. I mean, they could have left her out of it.
They're just creating like the perfect storm.
I know.
Everything just layers into the perfect storm.
I know.
If they would have just left it alone, it might have just been that.
I agree.
But it gets so much worse. And I don't know if you touched on it, but This is a very, I don't know the word I'm looking for. It's a very, is it docile community?
Yeah, that in the very beginning, that's what that man was saying, that it's very calm and peaceful and like.
Nothing happens in this town.
Yeah.
So now all of a sudden, all these kids get wind of this Project X, a movie that just fucking came out.
Exactly.
This is.
Yeah. So by this point, it's 7 p.m. and Mirta explains how, like, on that same evening, she had deleted the event. She's like, okay, it's over. I'm going to this movie with my friends. And when she's at the movies, she overhears people talking about the Facebook event. But then Mirta's like, what are they talking about? I canceled the event. Like, it's already been deleted. There's nothing to talk about. So what's going on? But then she quickly also gets an invitation to the recreated event.
To her surprise birthday party.
Yep. The event had gone viral by this point, and people were flooding the event page with Project X memes still, and like other party memes and everything. And so Mirta's just like, what the fuck am I gonna do? Mm-hmm. And so now we're at 10 days to the party. And Chris, the nightmare of the city, he was responsible for all of the nightlife of the city. And he's recalling how he came across the event on Facebook and he thought it was odd because it was being held in Harin and not in the city. And because Harin was like, it was a small community, it was very calm and everything, it was viewed as a boring town filled with uppity rich kids. Mm-hmm. But then he soon began receiving calls from the local residents, and they were worried about the event and like the possible repercussions on the community. So
you can tell he was kind of a big deal.
Yeah, I mean, that people were calling him and were like, please do something.
Like,
I mean, he's the nightmare.
Yeah, the nightmare.
Yeah. At first I was like, that's silly. And then I was like, oh shit, really.
He's like almost like the underground.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Pretty much.
When the mayor and all them, kind of, they're off the clock. He's now
on the clock. Yeah.
Oh.
That's funny. So now this is where we get introduced to, I think it's Mariska. She was a counselor, I think like someone on the city council. She had been sent the Project X trailer. And so then upon seeing like all the destruction and everything depicted in the movie, she immediately puts two and two together and realizes like,
this is what's gonna happen.
Shit, this is what people are like hoping is what's going to happen. They want a big party. Mm-hmm. And so she's like trying to get in touch with the day mayor.
Yeah. The day mayor.
Alert him of what was happening, but he was away. So she couldn't reach him.
Yeah, he was away for like a couple days or something.
Yeah. So in this time, Chris, the nightmare, he mentions how he also tried to reach out to the day mayor. I'm just going to keep calling him the day mayor.
Yeah, whatever. That makes sense.
But basically, he was just met with a brick wall. And he was like, I tried calling the Harin City Council every day to warn them, but like nobody was taking anything seriously. And so like between Chris and Mirta and her parents and Mariska, like everybody's just like, it'll be fine.
Yeah.
It'll be okay.
It'll buff.
Yeah. So now we're at 7 days to the party. And Mirta's parents are starting to, get more worried about what's going to happen and if people are actually going to show up. Mirta had like tried fighting back against Yorick in this new Project X Facebook event page. She was like posting snarky comments to him and stuff. But he just took it as her like feeding into it. And he thought that she liked it because he said that he had made her Facebook famous. But Mirta was like, no, this is having a negative impact on my life, on my family. So then she ends up reaching out to a mutual friend who gave her Yorick's number. And so at that point, Mirta's dad calls Yorick and tells him like, hey, there's people that are climbing over the fence trying to get close to our house. They're trying to take pictures of us, or not trying, but like they're taking pictures of us in our home. And so like it takes that for Yorick to be like, oh shit, this actually is pretty crazy. Like it's not just internet memes. People are acting on this. And so then he's like, all right, it's okay. I get it. I'm going to delete it. And so that's when he announces that the party got canceled and he deletes that event.
Damage has already been done.
Yeah. And of course, people didn't like that he deleted it. And unfortunately, the sense of relief that Mirta and her family felt was swiftly taken away because just a few hours later, another event had been created. And it was the exact replica of the event that Yorick had created. And so once again, the RSVPs were rising very quickly. And Mirta again tried reaching out to the admin of the event page, and just begging them to please take it down. And all they said to her was, quote, eat shit.
Yep.
That's so fucked.
Oh, God.
Oh, yeah. I feel they could have just done it somewhere else. They didn't have to keep her address on there is the thing.
Yeah.
That's really the biggest thing about it. I think if they would have changed the address.
Locations.
Yeah.
I mean, you'll get to that.
Yeah. But so now we're at 4 days to the party. And there's more rumors continuing to grow, and people are saying that there's going to be a huge stage, and Heineken was going to sponsor the event and everything. And then it starts being reported about on the local radio. Unfortunately,
that's what I mean, just layers.
I know. Unfortunately, Mirta's phone number had been posted. So she ended up getting a call from a radio show live on the radio. And she's telling them no, the party is definitely canceled. And the hosts are like, oh, you could have gotten so many presents. Ha ha ha. And she's like, yeah, those presents aren't going to cover the cost of our house. So party's off. Don't come here. But after that radio call, the story hit national media.
Yeah.
So then to make matters even worse, then there's a large poster that gets unrolled from the roof of a building.
That shit was wild.
Announcing Project X Haren on September 21st. And so by that point, the residents are starting to get nervous. And
rightfully so.
People were constantly taking pictures of Mirta's family home, ringing their doorbell, making masks of her face. It was starting to get really scary for them, but still, nothing.
I think they were even taking pictures inside their living room.
Yeah.
From outside.
Yeah, they had to keep their blinds drawn all the time because people were taking pictures of the inside of their house.
It's almost like the town and everybody, it's almost like they saw a storm coming, coming in, you know what I mean? It's almost like when you see a storm coming off the shore, you know what I mean? And you just see it coming. That's what's happening. They know
honestly,
it's fucking coming,
Yeah.
So.
All right. 1 day to the party.
Here we go.
So Chris, the nightmare, he talks about how on the day before, the residents and the general local public were getting nervous about this party and just the influx of people that were threatening to invade their community. And so he knew that the city council wasn't doing anything. So then he set about creating a plan of action just in case the party does happen, people show up and it does get as crazy as it sounds. So he's like, okay, the only solution is to create an alternative party outside of Haren. And so he assured the city council, he's like, I don't want any payment. We're just going to divert the crowd. All I need is help with resources, diverting the crowd and getting something going over here so they don't go over there. And all he needed was a signature from the day mayor to get the plan going.
Yep.
Unfortunately, the day mayor simply said, oh, the party's been canceled. It's fine. He really thought that everybody was just going to obey because they said it was canceled. But Mariska was insisting that he needed to close roads and he needed to get police and, start planning, preparing and all this stuff. And Chris, the nightmare, was insisting again, they need to get police involved with that diversion and again, more resources to move them over there.
Yeah. Would have been the right answer.
yeah, he's like, if these people all show up, they're expecting a party, and like, if nothing happens, they're gonna riot. And so he just needed help just to get all of the attention over to the new party.
Yeah. Like you said, just change location. That's
Exactly.
all you're doing.
Yeah. So then here's where we're introduced to two men from the show Stuck, which it resembles Jackass, they said. They are talking about how like they hate rules and they want to break them.
Translates to broke.
Yeah, to broke. And so they wanted to break the rules. Yeah. That's what it was. And so on their channel, like they're posting crazy videos and everything. And so their fans start reaching out to them asking if they're going to this Project X party. So they're like, hell yeah, we're going to go. We're going to film some content and it's going to be a great fucking party. So like right there, even more people that are like, whoo. So again, the nightmare was like, we need a plan.
Yep.
So now we're on the day of the party.
Day 0.
September 21st, 2012. 9 a.m.
You said September 21st? Right? Okay.
And we're introduced to Gilbert, who was the city communications advisor. And he explains how on the morning of the party, say that one more time, the morning of the party, the Haran City Council reached out to him then for help monitoring social media.
Yeah.
On the morning of the party.
Oh, yeah. I didn't catch that. Okay.
Yes. So he was asked to, once again, put out a message that the party was canceled and just kind of monitor the activity on social media on the morning of the party.
Meanwhile, their page got like 5 likes.
Yeah. He was like, we have like 4 likes on the
on
the city page. Yeah. Like there's nothing. But there's this big like mass of people that are planning to come here.
Your page is not going to do shit against that.
Exactly. So, you know, like the party had already grown so big and like these last minute efforts, they weren't going to make a difference. And they didn't make a difference.
People are literally on their way.
On their way, yes. By now, everybody is like posting in the event, talking about they're getting ready and they're like about to go and all this stuff. And again, recall that in the Netherlands at the time, the legal drinking age was 16.
Yep.
So it seemed like everybody from that age and up was out getting all the alcohol and everything. It seemed like everybody was preparing for this party. Could you imagine a bunch of
16-year-olds in the States going and getting fucking booze? It sounds like a
preparing
nightmare.
For this?
Yeah.
No, the SWAT team would meet you there.
Probably, yeah. Yeah. Anyways.
So now 1 p.m. day of the party. By lunchtime, people were like gathering in front of Myrta's house and they clearly had no intention of leaving. And the media was starting to show up and then like we're knocking.
It's still daytime.
Yeah, they're like ringing on their doorbell, trying to talk to them and everything. And I think it's Arnud. He was one of the news reporters. He actually like got the opportunity to talk to her dad, but I mean, her dad was immediately like, no cameras. So we didn't see it, but he was like talking about how he was out there, like just trying to do some coverage on it and everything. And he was like, it was chaos that people were like removing street signs. But it was kind of funny because then like everybody had their phones. So it didn't really matter if the street signs were gone or not.
I mean, yeah. Trying to confuse people.
Exactly. But anyway, by this point, Myrta and her family, like they had felt that it was super unsafe with all of the people outside. So everybody but her father fled to her aunt's house and then they watched everything unfold on the news.
They didn't make it clear that he stayed behind until later.
Yeah, until later. They didn't say that.
Yeah.
But so now we're at about 5 p.m. And Gilbert says, you know, it's like, well, I did my day of work and everything. I'm going to go home. And so he's like riding his bike home. And then suddenly he stops because he sees an endless line of cars and people walking into Haran. And so he immediately calls over to town hall and he's like, hey, it's happening.
The British are coming. The British are coming.
That's so funny. And, you know, like it starts out, like I said, all the people are showing up. Everybody's in good spirits and they're all happy and they're singing, but they're also starting to drink. And, you know, the more people that are coming in, the more they're drinking, it's starting to get a little crazy. People eventually start like screaming and singing and then chanting in the streets. And, you know, it becomes clear that they're like, hey, when's the party starting?
Little do they know there's no party fucking planned.
Yeah.
There's nothing there.
No, not at all. But one thing I did think was kind of funny, referencing that gnome, was that there was a guy that ran by one of like the news cameras, and he had a little mini gnome with it.
That's funny.
I thought that was funny. And even, you know, Arnud was talking about like how he was trying to go live and like get interviews with people, but it was just getting to be a mess.
Yeah. Shit just kept happening every time he tried to talk.
Yeah. Like people were just really starting to go crazy and it was starting to get really wild. So now it's like 8 p.m. and Mariska talks about how she had been walking with her dog towards the crowd and she wanted to just like check it out and see what was going on there and everything. And on her way there, she notices that there's a group of people walking behind her. And then before she knows it, she gets a fucking glass bottle thrown at her head.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck? But she notes that like this is the moment when the atmosphere really began to shift.
Yeah, you could feel it in the air.
Yeah. And so like thousands of people were descending on Merta Street and there was only like 10 police officers present to handle the crowd.
Did you touch on the total? I think you skipped this. The total amount that was before day, you know.
Oh no, I didn't say the total amount.
Okay, yes, 350,000 people ended up being invited to this thing.
Yeah,
and then their plan was to have 300 officers there.
Yeah, they had
to
like
do
10.
Crowd control, and there was like 10 there.
Yeah, and then it quickly became apparent that like these weren't riot police. They were just regular police, and they were like scared because
what are they called? Like beat cops or whatever.
Yeah,
or whatever they call in the States. I think.
Yeah, like there was just 10 of them against this crowd of thousands, and like people are screaming and everything, and they were like at one point they were trying to shake down a light post. And here's where like I mean, people are starting to get crazy, but it really started to escalate when they realized that like the police were trying to like push people away, but then they started letting off like shots. And I don't think that they have like bullets. I don't know what they have, like the rubber bullets or something over there, right? Isn't that what they have over there? I don't know. Anyway.
Like the police?
Yeah.
I don't know. I
don't know. I thought that was the thing that they don't.
Sure, they have bullets.
Well, yeah, but they're not. It's not like here.
No, God, no.
Yeah, but anyway, so they're like trying to like fight back against the people, but anyway, they ended up letting off shots, and like people start scattering, and they're trying to like fight back and all this stuff, and barricades start getting torn down, and like it just turns into a full-on riot, like of all these people against these police.
Well, you didn't give them anything else to do.
Exactly.
They literally just came to a street and there was nothing.
Yep, exactly. And like we said, Merta's father had opted to stay at the house, like at and like a token of solidarity, I guess, with the neighbors. So Merta was worried that he was going to be in danger. And of course, like saw how the movie ended with it, like the house being on fire and stuff. Yeah. So they were really concerned about their home. And so like you said, the police were starting to get aggressive with the people there, which wasn't helping calm anybody down. And then people were like filming the police just like beating people with their batons and shit. Mm-hmm. So even there was one guy, Tomas, who had talked about how like he had like, I think he had like fallen and he started getting beat on his legs by them, but then he got up and got away. Yeah. And he was like, oh, you want to treat me like a rioter? Mm-hmm. Okay, then I'll fucking act like one. Yeah. And so things continue to escalate. more signs being torn down. People were causing like all kinds of damage. They were starting fires, breaking windows, and then they started breaking into local businesses and looting.
That's one thing that I didn't find was laid out very clearly. Because the whole setting is on this, like, if you picture like Home Alone, like a block of just houses, like that's where they came to, but then they go to a different part of the city, the town.
It was a small community.
Right, but they left that block.
Yeah,
right?
Once
and
the
then
police started shooting.
And then they went to the actual where all the businesses were, and that's where like everything was being broken.
And like this is, the Stuck guys were talking about how they were filming people like robbing these businesses. But then before they knew it, that made them targets. And so people were like, oh shit, they're recording us. Yeah. And like they started attacking them and trying to get the footage away from them and everything. But it was kind of funny because they were like, oh, we were desperate to keep it so we could upload it and go viral and everything. And the one guy's like,
and to save
also
my life.
like alive. Yeah, he's like, I also wanted to live. And the guy's like, that too.
Yeah.
Like,
don't worry about that little guy. That's funny.
But I mean, obviously, they luckily managed to get away, and they did manage to keep the tape intact.
They said the camera got hit pretty good.
Yeah,
but they were able to get the tape out. Yep.
Yeah, so then they were like, "Fuck it, we're getting in the car and we're going."
Yeah.
So they left. And by this point, Merta's father had been told by police that there were 2 girls that had died in all of the commotion. And like I felt kind of sad for Mirta at this point. She obviously felt bad about that. And she's like, it was supposed to be a party for my birthday, and now it's turned into a riot and like people died and stuff.
Yeah, but later.
Yeah. And then and Yorick, like he even talks about how he couldn't even ride his bike home because of like how much glass was in the street. And he's like saying how he felt guilty because he was associated with all of it and everything.
Yeah, he's the one that made the copycat.
Yeah,
once she deleted it,
yeah,
he made the copycat.
Did the original escalation of it. So now, in the aftermath and everything, later on, it had been confirmed that there actually wasn't any deaths. So that was nice, but there was still a lot of damage.
Oh yeah, the place was destroyed.
Yeah. Around midnight, the police finally got the crowd under control and things like started to calm down and everything. And Arnud talks about having found his car all smashed up. And he said that the windshield was broken, the side mirrors were gone, and there was a brick sitting on the passenger seat. And he actually kept the brick as a souvenir.
And I think from what I remember from the photos or video or whatever, the roof was like caved in.
Yeah,
like,
it had been like stomped on. Yeah. And so then that sucked for him. That was the end of his night. But then the Stuck guys that had left with the footage, they had ended up staying up all night editing everything and immediately
cutting
posted.
Yep. That was funny.
Yeah, and immediately like posting it on their website, and like of course it took off.
Within an hour, it went viral.
Yeah, like very, very quickly. So following everything, like the mayor did a press conference where he called everyone who attended Project X Haren's scum. And was just like talking down to everybody that was there. But still, neither he nor the police took any responsibility for their lack of response to all of the warnings. Yeah. But I mean, after everybody left, the community, it was left in such disarray. And like, I felt so bad for those business owners. I really did, especially the one that was on there. And he was talking about how like every single one of his windows had gotten smashed. Yeah. And you could just see like the trash everywhere in the streets and like
signs were torn down.
Yep, everything. Yeah. And
they were looting stores.
Yeah. And I mean, it had to be a community effort just in order to get it clean again. And they really did the damn thing. They did because it was cleaned up. I mean, Mariska said that it was cleaned up in like a day. The next day it was cleaned up.
Yeah, she said the next day she went on a walk with her husband, and when they were out, this is the day after the party. Yeah. And everything was already cleaned up.
Yeah. So everybody really came together and was like, yes, 100%. But still, you know, so many of those videos had been uploaded to social media showing like exactly what had happened there. And that's when Tomas realized that he had actually been identified in some of the footage on Facebook. So he decided he was going to go back and return what he stole just to try and like.
Yeah, I think he said he stole
remedy
like
it.
cigarettes or something, right?
Yeah, he said he like filled up a bag with cigarettes and stuff. So following the, getting the footage and everything and police analysis, over 100 people ended up getting arrested in connection to Project X Haren, and 17 of them were charged with crimes related to the riot. Not only that, there was an inquiry into the day mayor and the chief of police's handling of Project X Haren.
Mm-hmm.
I also want to point out, I love this little "I told you so" moment from Mariska, because there's an interview with a woman on the street, and she's like, "This is the one time that the mayor should have been present and protected the community, but he wasn't." And in the next clip, Mariska just kind of like raises her eyebrows and sips her drink.
Yeah.
And she's like, "I tried to tell him."
Even the nightmare.
Yeah.
Like everybody was trying to help you,
Yep.
and you just said, "Oh, it'll be fine.
Yep.
It'll buff."
And the mayor did end up doing like a press conference where he apologized and acknowledged that things could have and should have gone differently.
No shit, huh?
Yeah, but there was still a lot of public pressure up against him, and he was essentially forced to resign. So at the end of it, yeah. So at the end of it all, Mirta doesn't believe that people went there with the intention of starting a riot or committing any crimes. She still fully believes that it all started out with good intentions, and people showed up because they wanted to party. And for the teenagers, particularly, it was a good opportunity to rebel. And Mirta even said herself that if it wasn't her party, she would have gone.
That's right.
And that's the end of the Real Project X documentary.
Yep.
So, what'd you think?
I mean, I don't know. I thought it was gonna be. I don't know. I love the movie.
Yeah.
We watched the movie last night. We watched the documentary, or I watched the documentary today. I thought the documentary was going to be a lot more similar to the movie. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it was still good. It wasn't bad. I do think it was handled poorly, obviously.
100%.
I think if they could have capitalized on the opportunity to, because there, like I said, there was 350,000 people that were invited. Obviously, they didn't all show up, right?
Yeah.
But there were still thousands and thousands of people. If you would have just changed the venue, because like you got to think about it, like all these people are incoming. You know they're fucking coming. Just because you say it's canceled, it's already been built up. It's the perfect storm. You know they're coming, and then your decision to just allow them to show up to an empty street is where you fucked up, because now they came there from all over the place for a party, and it's just an empty street. And now they're just bored drinking. 16 fucking year olds drinking. So what they should have done is just change the venue, pointed them to the city, created that venue like the Nightmare
Yeah, the
said.
one that was outside of Haren, not
only
inside the community.
Yeah, so you're protecting the town, right? And all those properties. You're bringing in business, because those thousands, potentially 350,000 people are coming.
That's what I was going to say. They could have used that as like a really good like tourist opportunity.
Yeah,
of hey, come here to Haren, and
not just
that
an
could
empty
have turned
fucking
into
street.
like an annual party or something
100%.
and brought in a lot
This
of
could have
money
been
for them.
a phenomenal, like almost festival.
Yeah,
It could have.
It really could have.
And then, like you said, you could have made it like an annual thing. You could even fucking call it Project X or whatever.
Haren.
Whatever. Well, no.
Like it didn't already have a name.
Well, yeah, but they weren't doing it in Haren.
It was going to be right outside, though.
Yeah. Well, yeah. But to point everybody away from the town, I would have renamed it. But
I guess, yeah.
I think if they would have, they could have capitalized on it. They could have just changed it and then actually set up like a stage and stuff like that. Like,
allow,
that's what
I'm saying.
Point them somewhere to actually focus their energy on something and not just destroying this fucking quiet town. So I don't know. The day mayor, and the chief of police really dropped the ball. Oh yeah,
because the Nightmare, he had a great idea. He could have saved the night.
He really could have. Yeah, he had a great idea. He was going to change the venue. He was going to get like a bunch of like party shit. Like he was, I think, a stage and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, and he was like, I don't even need to be paid. I just want to help divert all of the crowd over here.
That's what they needed.
He he was trying to do the mayor thing.
And then I don't remember who it was, but it was a police officer. I don't know if it was the chief or what, but it was before. It was like, I think it was like the party day, right? September 21st, whatever. And there was an interview with him. I think it was by the same interviewer that was on site the whole night, they were having a conversation. He's like, "Yeah, we're prepared. We have all this, we know what we're doing, all this other stuff." I don't know if that was the chief of police
yeah, he
or
was
whatever.
like, "Oh, we know what we're doing."
Yeah. No, the fuck you don't.
No.
Because at the beginning of the night, there was 10 officers, and the barricades that you were talking about were just the metal barricades.
Yeah, like they weren't
with the long feet. Like
that's not going to do anything.
There's nothing there. That's not stopping anybody. So yeah, definitely the day mayor that you called it, and then the chief of police. They fucked up.
Yeah. So I tried to do a little bit of research as like follow up from the whole event and everything. And there were some positive repercussions. The community really came together to support one another in the aftermath of everything. And there were Facebook groups and several public discussions where they talked through like how they were processing the shock of what happened and then sharing their experiences. The local schools and some local organizations started having deeper discussions about digital responsibility and the unintended consequences of viral social media events. And there's even been an improvement in protocols regarding social media monitoring, emergency responses, and crowd management all across the Netherlands.
Wow.
Yeah. So clearly it was a crazy party that and it got out of hand, but it sounds like the whole community has really recovered from it.
The party that never happened.
Yeah. So I think nobody died. So that's good.
That's the biggest,
Yeah,
that's
nobody
the
died.
thing.
They were able to get everything cleaned up, and it sounds like people have recovered. So all's well that ends well.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yep. And we're here to announce the next Project X in Heron. September 21st.
Next week. No.
2025. Oh, God, that's awful.
Next week for Rants on the Rocks, we're going to watch Untold, The Liver King.
Oh, that's right.
Another Netflix documentary. This documentary chronicles the rise and fall of Brian the Liver King Johnson, who was a fitness influencer who built his social media empire by eating raw organs and promoting a hardcore ancestral lifestyle. So, if you'd like, head over to Netflix to watch this documentary ahead of time and then come join us for the discussion next week.
It's got a lot. That one's got a lot of controversy, so that's going to be fun.
Yeah.
It's going to be good.
So I'm going to try to be more engaging in the Facebook page. So, I don't know, maybe I'll try and post like a reaction video watching it or like a poll or something. I don't know. I'll figure something out, just something to try and get people in on the fun.
Yeah.
But also, again, I do want to mention that we are about to have our website launch on August 1st. It is therantingpodcast.com. And we have included an anonymous submission section. So you can send in your rants, raves, or even suggestions for Rants on the Rocks if you don't want to post it in the Facebook page. And they will be read by yours truly.
Yep.
And we'll get them included in an upcoming episode wherever they fit.
Yeah.
So, as always, if you're enjoying listening to the podcast, please like, share, comment, subscribe, all of that stuff. And aside from YouTube, you can find us on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok, all under the Ranting Podcast. And soon you'll be able to hear us on Spotify as well.
Yep. Yeah, we're about to go to Spotify too. Yep.
Yeah. So please find us everywhere. Enjoy our silly content. But most importantly, keep ranting and come tell us about it. Okay, bye.
Bye.